Okay, so for today's recipe we've got something very special. We've got a pie here. This is a beef brisket, onion and mushroom pie. Now, I first tasted this when I was only a little boy. We used to holiday in a place called the Isles of Scilly, or Scilly Isles, just off the about 50 kilometres south of Land's End in the UK. We used to get a ship from Penzance out to the islands, and that would be our Christmas holidays, 2 or 3 weeks in the Isles of Scilly. One time we arrived there late, and a lovely neighbour brought us round a tray of these pies. Now, my mother very quick the next day was over to thank her, but also to get the recipe, and we've been eating these pies now for a long time, near on 60 years. So here's the recipe for it, and here's how we made it. Let's get going. These can be done in the air fryer, as I'm going to use the air fryer this time, to show you just how easy these pies are to make, just how tasty they are too. Right, come on, let's get cooking. Okay, let's have a quick look over these ingredients. First, we've got our brisket, mushrooms, onion and garlic. They're the only sort of discernible items that I can see there that make up the substantial filling. We've got some salt and pepper, rice bran oil, flaky puff pastry, oregano, a stock cube, and underneath here we've got a generic gravy mix, which I'm going to add the stock cube to give it a bit more oomph, and I'm going to chop up those mushrooms quite finely to add body to the pie filling itself. And we've got our eggs to make an egg wash to brush onto the finished pies so that they look nice and golden. Right, this recipe came from, as you probably have seen in the intro, from the Scilly Isles, so let's hopefully do it some justice. Right, now when you're preparing this brisket, try and get as much of the silver skin off that you can. Right, there we are with our brisket, and I'm just cutting off, as you can see, as much of this silver skin as I possibly can before I cube it for frying. And if you want some sort of idea the size to cut them into, there you go, that's about the right size. It's about just over centimetre cubes. Okay, so I put about a third of the meat in there, and I'm getting some good caramelisation. I don't want it to obviously burn, but I want a little bit of char on the outside. I'll do the other 3 portions and then we'll come back. Now we're going to leave that fond at the bottom there, those little bits and pieces of meat, and we're going to throw in our onions, and once they've gone a little bit softer, we'll pop in our garlic. And as you can see, I've already chopped up my mushrooms, and we have our meat already as well. Right, beautiful, and with our mushrooms, and we'll just turn the heat down for them. So I've taken the pan off the stove and I'll turn that right down, and I'll wait a little while before I put it back on. Right, we'll put our garlic in, just 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, and then we've got to get this foam off the bottom of this pan. So we'll do that with a little dark grape juice, and then we'll add the stock. Rightio. Just pour that in until the sound disappears. And then you want about about 300 mils of stock. So firstly, we're going to add some gravy mix. So this is the sort of stuff you get. I think Bisto is one of the popular brands, but most supermarkets have their own brand. About a tablespoon and a half. And it helps as a thickening agent for the filling as well. Right, so I've got my stock cube, just going to sprinkle that in there. And then get some hot water. We want about 300 mils. Pop that in there, along with some oregano. We won't bother too much about seasoning at the moment until we've got everything in here. Be a bit of a waste of time, I think. Here we are. And a little bit of oregano, about 2 teaspoons. That's about it. Beautiful. And now we're going to add back in our meat. Now, have this on the lowest possible heat, lid on. You don't want to lose any of this beautiful juice in here that you've got. And have another look at it in about an hour. It will take about 2 hours to be completely cooked and falling apart. Okay, this has been going about an hour now. Where can we find a bit of meat here? That's not going to fall apart anytime soon. So I've just turned it up a bit, and I've put in about half a teaspoon of black pepper. Let's have a look, see what that's like. That's good. That's really good. I don't know whether I should put some more salt in. Well, I haven't put any salt in. Let's put a little bit in. So that's about half a teaspoon. Give it a mix. Pardon me. Obviously I didn't stir that black pepper in well enough. Oh dear. Right, let's have a listen. No, have a listen. Let's have a listen to the taste, shall we? Ah, there we go. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. The right flavour, which I knew was there, came through. Now we've just got to get this meat cooked so that it starts breaking up. I'll come back in another hour. Alright then, I've got my filling, my pie filling. That's all nice and cooled now. So we're now going to make the pastry for our pie. This is flaky puff pastry, pre-rolled. Much too difficult to make puff pastry. Most other pastries are easy to make at home, but puff is not. So cut it just slightly bigger than the pie dish, then get in there and just work it down into the bottom there. There we are. Pretty easy. And you should be able to get, well, you get 4 out of here, no problems. So same process. I won't do all 4 in front of you. We'll come back when it's time to load up the pie. By the way, I have put the oven on 160 degrees fan bake. It should only take about 27 minutes. Now what I should have said was, the part of the pastry that's going to sit against the pie dish itself, spread a little bit of flour, because sometimes these pastries, when you defrost them, they have a little bit of moisture on the bottom there, so do that and you won't have problems with them sticking. Yeah, that's slid in place quite well, but just to make sure I've got my knuckle in there, pushing it in whilst I spread the pastry over the lip of the pie. Right, and then I've got the leftover, and that I'm going to use for the lid of my pie. Let's just get that over there and I'll do the rest, and we'll come back when we fill them up. Okay, so once you've rolled out your lid like I've done here, you can then spoon the filling. Now my filling's quite a bit of liquid there, so I'm just going to sort of drain as much of the gravy off as I can. It should be alright. I've had big gravy pies before and they've been fine. There we are. So you want them just below the top there. Otherwise, they tend to squish out, and that generally ends in tears for everyone. Particularly the person who's cleaning the oven. Rightio. On goes the top. Like that. Get your knife at the ready to cut around it. Like that. That's that done. Three holes in the top. 1, 2, 3. Get a fork and just crimp it. And before we put these in the oven, we'll put a coat of egg wash over the top. Now we're on to the other 3, and I'll come back when we're going to put this in the oven. Right, we are ready to go. So 25 minutes I think, and I'll check the air fryer at 20. So then we go into the air fryer. We'll just set this Don't know whether you can see much of that. So 180 and it's on 15, we'll get it up to 25. We'll say 26, give it a minute to warm up, and we'll have a look when it's down at 20. Right, that's the end of 26 minutes. Let's see what it looks like. Whoa. Oh. That looks fantastic. Right, I'll get the tongs and get it out, and I'll get the next one in, and then we'll concentrate on this one, shall we? Right, as you can see, I've set this at 24 minutes. Now they say it takes about 2 minutes for these air fryers to warm up, and the last time we had it at 26 minutes and it cooked perfectly, but that was from cold. So 24 minutes once it's warmed up should be perfect. Right, we'll check back. Meanwhile, I'm going to get this one out of the tray. I don't know how easy it will be. Okay, it'll be that easy. There we have it. Right, so let's have a taste. While you still hear the air fryer going, since I'm cooking these in the air fryer. Let's have a look. That's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Wow. Let's have a little bit from here, so I get some of this meat, so I can see that it's tender. It's just pulling apart. Right, that's bang on. Beautiful flavour. Puff pastry, always do with more gravy, so serve this with gravy. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and a big shout out to the Isles of Scilly. And I very much doubt the woman who brought over those pies is still alive now. This would have happened somewhere in 1960, somewhere between 1964 and 1967, which she was older than my mum then, would make her about 128, I think. So, but if someone is carrying on the tradition, then a big shout out to them. So thank you so much for watching this recipe. It's quite a walk down memory lane for me. Anyway, we will catch you on the next recipe.